Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Annette Montgomery. A man accused in a brutal sexual assault at Fort Hill Park appeared in a New Haven courtroom today. Prosecutors shared DNA evidence linking him to the crime and pushed for a higher bond. Fox 61's Raven Blue has more on the case from New Haven Superior Court.
Inside the New Haven Superior Court, the man arrested in the Fort Hill Park sexual assault case appeared for his arraignment. The state laid out a chilling account of what happened last month in the park. 34-year-old Ludwig Interiano walked into the courtroom at New Haven Superior Court in shackles, surrounded by 6 bailiffs. He faced the judge as the state's attorney laid out their case in a reported sexual assault at Fort Hill Park. They asked the judge to increase his bond from $750,000 to $1.5 million and order the defendant wear an ankle monitor with GPS tracking, along with a 24-hour lockdown if he posts bail. They argue Interiano is a flight risk because he is an undocumented immigrant from Guatemala who has been deported twice before.
He has been charged with aggravated sexual assault in the first degree, unlawful restraint in the first degree.
Interiano stood silently in the courtroom with an interpreter and public defender who argued for his release to his wife and 6 children who were noticeably not in the courtroom, while the judge set his bond to $1 million. During a press conference Friday morning, New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson said DNA evidence led to Interiano's arrest.
A hit was developed. Detective Verano worked with the assistance of the FBI and the victim in developing a sketch of the suspect. The state lab was able to identify a DNA profile which was compared with a national database, leading to an unsolved sex assault in Plano, Texas. Detectives in that case were able to develop a suspect.
Prosecutors also claimed during an interview with police, Interiano alleges he had consensual sex with the victim, but later claimed he could not remember because he had been on a 3-day drinking binge. Interiano is accused of attacking a woman with a box cutter while she was jogging in a wooded area of Fort Hill Park on August 9th.
I had an opportunity to meet with her as well, and she was very shaken up, but she was focused on helping us find out who did this.
Interiano is scheduled to be back in court on October 1st. He is being held on an immigration detainer, which means even if he makes bail, he will still remain in jail. In New Haven, Raven Blue, Fox 61.
Thank you, Raven. Well, tonight, a suspect is now in custody for the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Take a look at video of the man authorities say pulled the trigger. He's 22-year-old Tyler Robinson from Utah. Authorities say he confessed to a family member before police arrested him last night. Right now, you're taking a look at footage that police say show him running away from the scene after Kirk was shot in the neck Wednesday. And that was during an event at Utah Valley University. Officials say digital messages and surveillance images also tie Robinson to the shooting. They say Robinson used a bolt-action rifle with a scope found wrapped in a towel. Utah Governor Spencer Cox held a press conference today where he spoke about the videos that are now circling the internet.
This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community.
And we know videos of the assassination are flooding social media right now, but watching them can take a toll. Experts say repeatedly consuming violent images is traumatic and can heighten stress, anxiety, and fear.
We're so used to going to those for entertainment, for relaxation, for connection with family and friends, and to have that video pop up of Charlie Kirk's situation is traumatizing.
And reaction is still pouring in here in Connecticut and across the country after millions of people saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk on Wednesday. And the graphic and disturbing video made its way onto several social media platforms, leaving many concerned about the mental health effects it can have. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules spoke with a social media expert about how easy it is to access videos in situations like this one and how it can be avoided.
When scrolling on social media, many people went from seeing lighthearted videos to seeing the shocking video of Charlie Kirk's assassination, something they say they'll never forget. It's a video that shocked the world. Political activist Charlie Kirk was on stage at Utah Valley University for a Turning Point USA event when he was shot in the neck. Several videos captured the graphic shooting from different angles and the moments after as people ran for cover. Marley Hughes says he can't get the video out of his head.
Unfortunately, I did see the video like a lot of other Americans did, and it's just so horrible.
Sarah Peck says she was lucky enough to not see the video, but is heartbroken for anyone else who did.
Anything like that should not be on the internet, accessible to children or anybody in general. No one should be witnessing somebody's death.
Peck fears that footage of violent events like this could cause major mental issues for people.
I think it kind of like desensitizes people and becomes like commonplace. So people kind of accept it as a norm from seeing it so much that they don't really see it as not okay.
In the same week, another graphic video made its way to the internet showing the murder of a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who was stabbed to death on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's obviously disturbing, heartbreaking, horrible. And we live in an age now where it is accessible to virtually everyone on a device in our pocket.
John Powers, an assistant professor for the School of Communications at Quinnipiac University, says avoiding these kinds of videos today is extremely difficult. During previous traumatic historic events like the JFK assassination or 9/11, it was easier to avoid it by staying away from TV or newspapers. Powers says although there are certain guidelines in place on social media apps, these videos can still easily be found online. To avoid these graphic videos, someone can do things like disable the autoplay feature on all social media platforms or restrict sensitive content. Powers also recommends taking some time away from social media, especially after seeing something graphic.
I think a social media break is helpful and healthy at any time, let alone after something like this.
Powers says these social media breaks should be a day or even longer, depending on how much time the person needs. In Hamden, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Thank you, Alicia. Well, a deadly crash shut down Beacon Valley Road today. State police say a car and motorcycle collided, leaving at least one person dead. Now, that accident happened this afternoon, and troopers are still piecing together what led up to it. The crash reconstruction team is on scene right now, and investigators say drivers should avoid that area if possible. The road is closed and delays are expected. Police say this is still an active investigation. And tonight, an Enfield town worker is recovering in the hospital after a serious crash with a lawnmower. Police say a car hit a Department of Public Works lawnmower on North Main Street earlier today. Now, that mower caught fire after the crash, which caused severe burns to the worker. He was rushed to Bay State Hospital with very serious injuries. At this time, officers are still investigating what caused the crash. Police say they'll share more updates as soon as they become available. A Colorado community is still dealing with the aftermath and shock following a shooting Wednesday afternoon at Evergreen High School. Authorities say 16-year-old Desmond Hawley opened fire with a revolver inside and outside the building, hurting 2 students before then turning that gun on himself. Investigators say Hawley had been, quote, radicalized by an extremist network, but they haven't shared any further details about that network or why. In an update yesterday, officials say both victims remain in critical condition. Deputies say the gunman carried lots of ammunition but couldn't reach more students thanks to locked doors. Families and classmates say they're thankful no one else was hurt, but the trauma of this incident runs deep.
I do know of the shooter, and I don't know him personally, but even it doesn't matter. Like it just hits you like home, because it's where I went to school for 3 years before, and it just like hits you hard. Like that's not home, like the home that you thought it was.
And of course, students and parents say the chaos of that shooting has left them shaken. Some ran, others locked down, all while gunfire echoed through the halls. Now Evergreen is grieving while 2 classmates are working to recover. A memorial service was held a couple of hours ago for the construction worker who was killed by a driver in Hartford last year. Family and friends gathered in Hartford at West Boulevard and South Whitney Street today, where Jose Diaz-Nieves was hit by a car. They did that to celebrate his life, and they even installed a plaque, and you see there, released some balloons. Now, the suspected driver, Tommy Nguyen, pleaded guilty to manslaughter last month. Diaz-Nieves was 54. Congressman John Larson is running for re-election today. He launched his campaign with union leaders and family by his side. Larson highlighted his record on Social Security, Medicare, and women's rights. He also promised to fight for affordable housing, lower drug costs, and jobs here in Connecticut. His message was to Democrats must unite, protect democracy, and stand against Donald Trump. Larson says protecting those benefits is at the center of his campaign. He points to new caps on insulin and Medicare's power to negotiate drug prices as proof Democrats can deliver. He says he's ready for another fight in Washington and believes voters will send him back. State Representative Jillian Gilchrist is speaking out after Congressman John Larson's announced he's now running for re-election. Gilchrist says she respects Larson's service but argues Congress is failing families. She says workers can't afford daily life, gun violence keeps rising, and climate change is threatening communities. Gilchrist says she's running to bring urgency and real solutions to Washington, pointing to her work in Connecticut on paid leave, gun safety, and reproductive rights.